This was my original wood small parts storage bin. But the problem is, as you can see, the only thing you can get to is the top. Well, there's a whole lot down in there. And the bottom is not very well used storage, and I have minimal floor space. I also have wood sitting in containers all over the place. So, yeah, my next project, I think, is going to be to try and use that desk as sides and make a new, maybe this tall, somewhere in there, so like 5 foot or so tall cabinet that has drawers and slide outs that makes trays so I can display the different kinds and pieces of wood. So rather than, yes, it won't be just visible, but if I somehow manage to label them, because unlike that thing, which theoretically I can't really see either because there's all sorts of crap in front of it, that's my wood storage rack where I have the larger pieces standing vertically. But I can sort of see, looking in when I'm up close, what stuff is there, and then I can pull that out, pull things out, and even sometimes get things out of there. But the small parts that I make, like the box lids and things, started getting, in these containers, and even that, when it was a third full, I could see everything. Now that it's completely full, I can't see anything, so that's not as useful. And yeah, I have too many little pieces of wood. But if I get it organized, I can then make projects and more boxes much easier, because I know, okay, that one, for example, has walnut, that one has rosewood, that one has mahogany, or that one has, fancier woods. And then if I need a yellow color or a red color or whatever, I know which drawer to pull and try and find pieces from, versus just randomly looking and seeing, okay, do I have any in here? No. Do I have any in there? No. Do I have any on the top of there because I can't get to the bottom? No. So I'm going to redo this and use, instead of the pallet, or I should say, instead of the dolly, I'm going to use some of the locking wheels I got from Amazon. Previously, I've been using the ones from Home Depot, and I like those. I got a set from Amazon that also do the dual locking, and I replaced them on this cart, so I have one more set. They work. They don't seem to, like, this is not locked. They roll nice, but when the Home Depot ones are locked, it's pretty much locked and it doesn't move. When these are locked, they move more. So for a wood storage cart, locking and mostly just staying there is fine. It's not going to be like a tool where I have to have it still, or if it moved while I'm using it, things don't get as accurate. So I think that'll work just fine for this cart. So my next project is going to be redoing this about that same form factor for the floor space, because that fits where that goes, but maybe about 5 foot tall, or just tall enough so that when I pull the top drawer or whatever out, I can still see in. That's next. And that will also help use up a bunch of the scraps that I have laying around, because our garage door got damaged. It's going to get paid for, so I don't have to pay for that. But they said, can you move everything from here forward back so we have room to do the garage door? Well, there's stuff there. So the more I get cleaned out, the more of these things that aren't sitting around, the more scraps that I don't have sitting around that are actually in a project that uses the same floor space that rolls, the better. Because that's going to happen in maybe a month or so for the garage door replacement. So now granted, that's on wheels, the cart inside there. Some of the other stuff is on wheels. So most of the stuff in this area is on wheels, but it's just the fact that there's so much stuff sitting that's scrap wood that I really need to use up. So making this cart, we'll use that up and clean up things and get it more ready to get a new garage door. Well, it's up. It's taller than I initially had planned. It's 71 inches tall. It does fit under there, so I didn't screw that up. But I figured, okay, well, just maximize the desk top. So basically I cut the desktop in half. And then those pieces are pieces from my closet door I took apart. Those are the solid edging. And I put them on 3.5-inch wheels that I got from Amazon. But because this was only 30 inches wide, and I wanted like 17 or so inches, this was not, even split in half, this is not long enough to go back far enough. But if I add these, granted, like that, then that's better. Then I still have space for a back before I hit the end. So I haven't completely decided yet on if I'm going to just put it back on and go from there or what. But I did get it up and it's attached. So the screws are, I have 2-inch screws. So this is an old drawer from our original kitchen. And then the wheels came with screws that I was able to screw that up in. And then there's 2-inch screws going through that are countersink in there up into this. And this is 1-inch wide particle board. And then on the top, I have pocket holes going from the top into the side. So it's 2 feet wide by basically 15 inches for the width of this. So I could have a bunch of drawers. Now, if I make it longer, I could use some of the drawer slides and have actual drawer slides, either angle iron or slots in the side to put the sides in. Haven't decided completely on that. If I extend it, I'll have the ability to put some of the drawer slides that I have in, so I can have 2 heavy drawers down at the bottom, possibly. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm still deciding on that. But it rolls nice. The sides look cool. It's really tall. The one problem, I think I'm just going to make a shelf at the very top to sit stuff in. And the reason for that is anything above, like, eye level is about here. So if I have a drawer that comes out, I need to be able to look into the drawer or the tray to see what's in it. Otherwise, I have to take it the whole way out, look, and then put it back, which would be annoying. So I think I'm just going to make a shelf, a 2-foot shelf. And I could pocket hole that one in as well. And then I could put like my heat gun and maybe some of the other stuff that's currently just sitting in a mess. Well, it's sitting in a mess under the carving bench. But that way it would have a specific place other than just in the mess. And that could work. So we'll see. But in any case, I left the front edging for the most part on the desk. And then I made a little lip at the top. It's not much. It's like 1/2 inch. But that way if I do sit something on top, it won't just slide off. I probably won't sit something on top because it's so tall. When it was supposed to only be 60 inches, that would have made more sense. So, I don't know. But in any case, it has a nice edge on the top and the front. It's always fun and exciting when you build stuff and don't have a complete plan and it's sort of a live build. But it's a frame. I used up pieces that were sitting around. And yeah, so I'm hoping to use up a lot more of these pieces for filling this in. Well, I made a little bit more progress. I got the back pieces put on both sides. I got 2 shelves put in. And of course I knew when I split this desk in half that on one side I went on that side of the line, and the other side I went on that side of the line when I cut it with the circular saw. That means that this side is 16 inches front to back, and that side is 16 3/8 or 16 almost 16 1/4 front to back. So I should have measured that a little more carefully and made these back pieces 2 different widths instead of the same width, but it's a garage project. It'll work fine. The front lines up. That's the important part. The back, it's a garage project. So I made the first of the trays with some of the scraps. And I don't think it's going to be down that far, but in order to hold it, it has to be down that far for my thumb. So I think I'm going to have to make the next trays a little wider, because I think I'm going to try and use some angle iron, and the angle iron adds thickness, and 2 thicknesses of angle iron, if I either put it down and out or up and over, are wider than the 1/8 inch I left for this widthwise. But that's right. The first one I can angle up, the second one I can try and angle down. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But that's the kind of thin trays I was aiming for. And I should be able to, that has a lot of surface area, and it's not real high, which is what I wanted, because that way when I put the little pieces of wood in here, I can pretty much see all of them, or if not, roll one away and see the other one. So that was the goal, and that worked. So I just have to see for sure if the angle iron is going to work. If not, I'll have to come up with a different way to put the side pieces in, or side bits in. But I think that should work. We'll see. In any case, I made a little bit more progress. Got 1 tray done. Got 2 shelves in. I checked, and my 16-inch, because of the distance here, my 16-inch drawer sides will work. So I might do a set of trays and then 1 or 2 drawers at the very bottom. If I do that, I'll have to put another solid board across, but that's easy enough. That way there's, a roof or a top to the drawers. Or maybe I won't bother, because if I have just lots of trays, that's equivalent to just having a drawer above it. So that may not matter. But in any case, it's getting there. Slowly, but it's getting there. And I am using up scrap bits. So this was all just small pieces of 3/4 inch stuff laying around. And that was a piece of old hardboard drawer bottom from somewhere that was laying around. So by the time I fill all that in, I'm hoping more of this scraps are used up. But we'll see. I know that some of that will get used up, because some of that is going to get used for the back of the cabinet, since that's 3/4 inch thick and I left a 3/4 inch space back there. So I think I'll make a decent dent in my scraps. All right, I'll have some drawers, and I ended up using 1.5 inch angle iron, or slotted angle iron from Home Depot. And the tape is just where there's holes. But again, shop furniture, doesn't matter. A little narrow. Some of the drawers work a little better than others, and I guess it would help if I locked the wheels. And of course everything's going to fall over. But the wood bits, other than yeah, the wood bits fit. So I think it's going to work. I'm going to put a big drawer down at the bottom, like a 10-inch high, or yeah, I think a 10-inch. It's either 9 or 10. I don't remember which one I cut the board. But I'm going to put probably 2 drawers down at the bottom for bigger stuff. And that will mean I have to do less other trays, because I'm not 100% sure how many more trays I'm going to need. I know I managed to empty that one entirely into, I think, 2 or 3 of these, and it needs reorganized, because I just filled it up versus having a good category for some of it. Like, some of this one is somewhat organized. Like, here's walnut. Over there, some other colored, like reddish colored, fancy colored. And like in this one, here's, I think it's that really light stuff that glows in the dark. Avedire. There's some of that. Little oak pieces, some other miscellaneous stuff. And then this one was yellow heart, oak pieces, Avedire pieces, miscellaneous. So yeah, I think it's gonna work. I just have to, once I get all the stuff done, I'll have to go back through multiple times and reorganize. Now, good news, bad news, it works to get cleared out of there. I don't think there's enough space in this to do the big bin. We'll have to see, because that big bin is large and it would fill up most of that space down there. So I don't know. We'll have to see. And it's done, other than just putting a little bit more in some of the shelves. We got handles on, we got drawers, we got another separator down there. The only thing that didn't work quite exactly right is, since I was building these drawers organically versus measuring, this one, initially I thought I was going to have enough space right here for another small drawer, but it turns out that was too small, so I just put this separator in, but then there's a 1/2 inch gap, but oh well. There's not a problem with that. If I end up finding that there's too much dust gets in, I can always add a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch height to it to make it a little bit taller. But otherwise, I ended up using just scrap pieces from what I had cut up for the handles, because why not? It's going to get thrown out anyway. And those are just old kitchen cabinet handles. So it's funny, well, I appreciate it as funny. All of the wood in this was salvaged from one thing or another. The sides are from that desk that I got recently. This top back piece is from another desk I took apart the other year. The bottom base is from a kitchen, one of our original kitchen doors. The top is from our original kitchen doors. This is just from various scraps, combination of kitchen doors, other cabinets, table accessories. The bottom of this is from a closet door for most all of these. I think the bottom two, or the bottom one, no, the bottom two I had to do something different because I ran out of closet door parts, or closet door skin, because I just took the thin part off the outside of the closet door and used that for there. But that's awesome because, you know, again, that works. So these are just the angle brackets, and they all pretty much slide in. You can see it doesn't slide in great, but that's okay. And I think I said, but I have to go back through and reorganize and categorize, but there's some empty drawers that have space for other stuff, and most of the bottom ones are empty, and that's some fancy bits that I got at Rockler in their cut-off bin, and that's some other, well, this was from a 1930s dresser. That's from a different dresser I took apart, so yeah, that works good. And then I have space for my heat gun up top, something else up here I haven't figured out yet. This are my air nailers. I have 3 different air nailer stapler things. I could put that bag up there, but it rolls around decently nice. Again, this was from a part of a desk that I had salvaged that somebody was throwing away, and this was a big piece, and some of the other bits for some of the drawers. Yeah, especially the drawers at the bottom. These ones are from a table that my neighbor Gavin was getting rid of. So thank you, Gavin, it worked. But yeah, I think it's going to work really cool because, as you saw, a lot of the wood fit in. Those 2 bins are now empty and in drawers. I have another bin over there that I completely emptied out and is now empty, and another big bin that's now almost empty. It's empty of all the important stuff, and the rest of it is a mishmash that I have to go through and see if I need any other bits for, like, drill into boards. Because a lot of times I run into problems where most people just say, oh yeah, just use a piece of scrap wood of this or that to drill into as your sacrificial board. Well, I've been using all my pieces for projects. So I have a bin of like plywood and other miscellaneous bits that I have to go through and sort and see what I can keep for sacrificial boards. Not something that I want to make into a project, but you know, you need something sometimes to drill into. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. Granted, it's almost 6 foot tall. My head comes up to about here. As I said, this is like 71 inches, but that's okay because it will fit under there to go back in that corner where it's going to live. So that's awesome. I am very happy. So now I can do, can't quite see it, but there's a drill press cabinet over there that I'm going to work on. But this is awesome. This is going to help a lot, especially once I get things better organized and shuffle things around such that, you know, and then label. Labeling will be important because then I'll know, okay, this is where my little oak bits are. Or like when I tried to initially do this, this is where I tried to put a lot of the walnut pieces. And it ended up being some of the other pieces because at the time when I filled this up, I didn't have the other drawers built. But if I have, you know, little oak pieces in one and walnut pieces in one, and I move the mahogany and some of the other cedar and other things into another one, then I can label them, you know, oak, walnut, mahogany, whatever. Or even by color, reddish, yellow, that kind of thing. So if I want to do the colored stripes, I know, okay, I can get some from here, some from there, some from there, and then go. But yeah, that's awesome. That used up not a huge amount of scrap wood because a lot of the things were just very narrow, but it used up quite a few of my narrow pieces and the sides and back. So this used to be a giant stack of stuff. Now there's just minimal things. And I think I can use a lot of what's still stacked there on the drill press cabinet. So then that stack will go away. Some of this stack may also get used in the drill press cabinet, but yeah, I'm very happy. This was a success, and it's going to be a very welcome addition to, instead of having bins to dig through, just have thin trays that are categorized. That's going to be great.